Hi everyone, my name is Landon Cassell, and I'm here to tell you about my two favorite tours I took during my time in Stockholm. So let's start off with the Archipelago cruise. I took this cruise on the line Stroma. It was a 2.5-hour cruise. It costed about $65 per person, and it took you all around the archipelago from Stockholm. I really recommend the one from Stroma because there are other companies that do it, but those archipelago cruises are only about an hour and it costs the same amount. You can't go far and see really the landscape that is outside the city, which you are going to see clips of. It was really enjoyable just being able to sit on the edge and be able to look at these views. They did have a guide who was telling you about the history and other facts about the archipelago, but you could really only hear the guide on the inside. There is an inside portion, but I did not sit there. I was sitting on the outside where you couldn't really hear the guide, but just sitting down, relaxing, and getting some views. So, you know what I should do right now? I'm going to tell you about some history and just some facts about Stockholm's archipelago. So, did you know that the archipelago consists of 30,000 islands, inlets, and rocks? No, I'm not even kidding. It's crazy to think about, but Sweden actually has the most islands of any country in the world. It's insane. This stretches over 60 kilometers, which is 37 miles, and it stretches from the inland of Stockholm into the Baltic Sea. So, population-wise, only about 150 of these islands are actually inhabited. Most are really, I don't even know if you, fully can consider them an island. They're just kind of like rocks that are really above the water and have maybe a few trees on them. But with this, a lot of people actually also live on some of the islands, have homes there that they'll be living on during the summer. Many people actually take boats and will bring them into Stockholm City Center if they are working there but want to be living on their island during the summer. So, also within the archipelago, there's a vast ferry service that connects many of the populated islands. They are commuter ferries, cost literally $2 for you to ride them. And if you want to get throughout Stockholm, you could take these commuter ferries as well, especially because Stockholm is a city that is not walkable. Just the way the water is, it makes it very, very hard. So, also in addition to that, just fishing, kayaking, swimming, jet skiing, all the regular things that you would find in big lake areas are very popular in the archipelago, even though the archipelago is not a lake. So now, as you see here, clips right now, we are making our way back into Stockholm. There is Gröna Lund, the amusement park, which I will actually talk about very briefly. But yeah, that is the archipelago cruise. I definitely recommend everyone needing to do it. You need to do an archipelago cruise during your time in Stockholm. Now, let's get to the hop-on, hop-off bus. And I actually believe that taking this is something that is a great way to see the city. I'm normally not a fan of taking tours and doing different public transportation. I'm a fan more so just walking. But I think the hop-on, hop-off bus, especially in a city that's not walkable at all, is a great way to see it. I would recommend getting on it and just riding around the city just one time where you're relaxing, you're getting a sense of what the city's like, you're getting a history lesson from it because they give headphones and you can connect it to a speaker where you can hear all about, it's like the regular hop-on, hop-off buses that you see everywhere. And then maybe your second time you loop around, you can go to all of the stops. I just rode it once. I didn't get off on any stops because I just walk everywhere, but I understand many people can't or don't want to, especially in a city like Stockholm. So yeah, hop-on, hop-off bus is a great form of public transportation, even though it's not really public transportation. You know what I mean. It's $50 for a day, or you can get it for 2 days for $70. It's roughly that price. I don't have the specific amount. But while you see some clips of Stockholm that I took while on the hop-on, hop-off bus, let me just tell you some history of Stockholm. So this city was founded in the year 1252. So the city was established on the island of Stockholm, which is now known as Gamla Stan, which is the old town. And this was to protect Sweden from foreign invasion and to control the trade routes in the area. I have a video specifically on Gamla Stan. Check that out. Also, my video specifically on Stockholm in general, and that is a vlog, so you need to check that out too. I also went to a crazy thing called the Ice Bar. Check that out as well. But during the late Middle Ages, Stockholm became an important center of commerce, especially for export of things, such as iron, copper, other resources. And from 1397 to 1523, Stockholm was part of what was known as the Kalmar Union, and this was a political union that united the kingdoms of Denmark, Norway, Sweden under a single monarch. Today, they each have their own individual monarch. Stockholm is a part of Sweden, which is a monarchy. You can go to the royal castle, which is right in the city center. 17th century, there was a lot of expansion. So during the 17th century, Stockholm became a hub for expanding the Swedish Empire. The city's population really started to grow during this time, and it became a center of culture and learning, and that sense of culture is still there today. You should really go to the art museums. Those are absolutely incredible. This is where the Nobel Prize is also awarded. Not the Nobel Peace Prize, that's awarded in Oslo, but all the other Nobel Prizes are awarded in Stockholm. There's actually a museum, the Nobel Prize Museum, that is right in the center of Gamla Stan that you definitely need to check out. So also, when you look at just the population and diversity, it has over 1 million in the city and 2 million in the metro area. And it is a city that the diversity has starting to increase a little bit, much more than it was just 20 years ago. But yeah, that's just some history on Stockholm. But here now, just enjoy this final clip of just going down the streets. I love the old architecture, and you have the buildings that are different colors. Look there, you could see the yellow, you could see orange, you could see greens. Stockholm is such a great city. It really blew me away. I was shocked at how much I enjoyed the city. I wasn't expecting it to be much, but it succeeded my expectations so much. Maybe my favorite Scandinavian city. So now also, I just want to show you really quickly Gröna Lund. This was not a tour. This is an amusement park. You can get an all-day pass and go on the rides for about $80 per person. The amusement park is literally right on the water. It has roller coasters, which are really fun, and then it has this one super crazy swing that swings you up in the air, but it gets crowded, so make sure you go early. Here now, Gamla Stan. This is the old city. Definitely walk around it. It makes you feel that. At first, in my vlog on Stockholm and Gamla Stan, I was saying like the 1800s, but I didn't realize some of these buildings were built during the 13th century. How crazy is that? Gamla Stan is easily my favorite part of Stockholm, the most charming. So yeah, check that out. You really should. Stockholm, I'll definitely be back.